Good morning, everyone. Be, I hope you are happy and you are very welcome to the third edition of our Ambition ESG. Today we are at Siki Auditorium. I would like to thank our leaderships here, authorities, friends, media press, and our colleagues from Randon companies, and all the people that are following us here online. So apart from our sustainability report, we are also going to present and talk a little bit about 2022 regarding what random companies worked in the last year. And we are also going to have a surprise in the end of our event today. There is a piece of news that we have been working for the past 2 years, and if you stay up to the end, you're gonna find out about this news we have to announce. So, people, it's a truly joyful to be here. Randon, 74 years of history, founded by my father and my uncle, Raul and Ercílio Randon, that have always built the companies based on values and principles. And this pathway we have been talking about ESG comes from a long time ago regarding corporate issues. We started in the 70s, opening, listing the company with public held company. In the 90s, we became certified ISO 14000 regarding environment. And also, if we look at the social side of things, our founders brought many new things. In 2001, Randon are there together with Frasli at tier one of the capital markets at Bovespa. And the next year, we launched the blooming program, Programa Florescer, which we are very proud. It's a social program and shows that the company was always concerned not only with businesses, but also to contribute with our community. And on many other actions, in 2007, we launched our ethics code guide. In 2016, there was a huge economical, political, and moral crisis, and then we launched our Random Day with our commitment with the best practices. So the ESG issue brings us the importance of the random companies. It's not only about results and profit. We also have to have a reputation. Regarding brand and reputation are increasingly important to us. And that involves all the stakeholders, clients, and partners, and all our collaborators. So all society will ask from us to show what we are doing for the sustainable growth. So in 2021, we launched the ESG Ambition. We call it ESG Ambition, and the company has been evolving and working with its purpose of connecting wealth and people, generating prosperity to everybody. People are our protagonists and our partners, and working together, we can manage to bring something different. This ESG ambition has been really important to us because it's about a challenge vision for all of us, for all the leaderships that are committed within their own strategies and businesses to be searching for new opportunities that can add value to our future. So here, when we talk about ESG, this is our main concern with the planet. To reduce in 40% the emission of gases, CO2 gases, up to 2030. We are also going to show you what we have been doing for 2025, be able to zero the waste in industrial landfills and reuse 100% of our effluents that the company has been working on their treatments. These are very important issues regarding the planet. When we talk about people, we are working strongly to be able to double up the number of women in leadership positions up to 2025. And also, We want to get to zero labor accidents, work accidents. So we are going to have many actions and strategies to reach this target. And regarding business, to widen our net revenue generated by new products, these ESG ambitions, they are completely doable. It's a very important work we have been doing. In the world, we have been looking at the targets, 20 net zero emissions up to 2050, and we have challenges to overcome. So how can we do that? Firstly, we are investing a lot in innovation, more disruptive technologies that can contribute with that, and the public sector bringing public policies and incentives so companies can continue bringing these opportunities of being responsible and reaching not only as a company, but our clients are always asking, demanding that from us, especially our global clients. We are a company that supply for over 120 countries, and also Randon has also been asking from their suppliers also the same things. We have been working together with the community, always having the support of everyone so we can build a better future. Once again, thank you everyone for the presence. And I'm give the word to the floor to the CEO, Sérgio Carvalho. Good morning, everyone. Once again, be welcome for the people in person and the people that are online. It's a pleasure and a satisfaction to be here and to be able to have this conversation with all of you. We have information, wonderful presentations to talk about our targets, our ESG targets, and our performance. Anderson Poltauti, Paulo, Valéria, Luciane, many people will talk about this topic. And I would like to start about talking of telling you what we have been doing so far, which is not really ESG, but it's our financial results. As part of the sustainability, we need results. And in 2022, we had a historical record of revenue. We ended the year with 11.2 billion net revenue. That represents over 23%, an increase of 23% when compared to the last year. It's almost 4 times the size of the company when compared to the last 5 years. So we had a financial performance that was amazing. We grew with a very important rate. And it's not only this type of growth that matters to us, as we mentioned before. We have been doing a lot of good things, either regarding environment, and also we are going to tell you about the people and the communities, our participation, our social participation. Governance, we did a lot of things last year. We did 81 we had 81 accomplishments that if we would talk about all of them, we would be here for a long time only talking about what we have accomplished last year. But even so, we chose a few to show you. So Hercules Enterprises, we bought a company in the end of November last year. It's an assembler. It's a semi-trailer manufacturer in the biggest market in the world, which is the United States. So we have spread. The volume is on the northern hemisphere, and we never reached those amounts. So last year we decided to do it. We acquired this company, and things are going really well. We also created Adiante from our financial digital services, which is a joint venture with the company Gerdau for leasing and rental, financial financing, and all and rental. Also, it's a new product we have, which is a new and increasing segment in Brazil. In other countries, in mature countries, they represent a higher percentage of transactions. In Brazil, we hope we get there. We wanna ride this wave, surf this wave. We also created Random Venice. We started to distribute our own products in the state of Rio Grande do Sul. In Argentina, because of Fras-le World, we consolidated all of our operations in only one place, in Garim, a very modern place for our expansion in Argentina. Castertech, we bought assets of balancings to expand their production capacity with new equipment. And in the beginning of January, we are going to expand even more. We are going to be in Mogi Guaçu, in the countryside region of São Paulo. And that was our fourth movement of Castertech in the past 2 years. Yost inaugurated a company that's very modern, and the process was developed by our RTS Auto, where we have only 6 people working with the highest quality possible in a product with bus articulations, coaches articulations. It's a new product that it's being developed in Brazil with a state-of-the-art technology. We also bought DB Server in a digital and more connected world to have access to software engineering. It's essential to our future. It's one of the biggest challenges in the industry nowadays. Not only in the industry, but in the world in general, to find software engineers and protect their solutions, the solutions they developed. And with this company, DB Server, it's going to help us a lot. Fras-le has consolidated its operations of distribution, with the exception of the southern region in Brazil, and it concentrated in the state of Minas Gerais. They are distributing Fras-le Control nowadays, not only Nakata, Fremax. All the products from the Fras-le world have been distributed by them. And recently, we had the acquisition of Juratec as part of this internalization process of the company. We also had a lot of prizes and recognitions, awards regarding quality, innovation, for us being one of the best places to work. So we have a few things to show you. Random Companies got the prize from the magazine Value 21,000, Valor 1,000. Within our category, we were considered the best in Brazil. Daniel is part of the most notable people in Money Report. Exame magazine also recognized us as the best company in Brazil in our category related to ESG. Also, Exame magazine, we are in the first place of gain and capital for electronics. Our group of administration group with relation investors received also a prize of the best in Brazil. Top 10, 100 open corps regarding automotive industries with open innovation. And who decides brands? We got this prize as a very innovative brand. And also, we had 15 other prizes that we are not going to talk about now. And now, to continue telling this beautiful story to you, I'm going to call Anderson Pontalti. Thank you. Hello, people. Good morning. Welcome, people that are here, people are at home remotely. I have I want to talk about sustainability, and my topic is more detailed about planet. We are going to talk about the initiatives geared towards the environment that are so important to us. And for a long time, since the beginning of story, the values of the company, the environment is where we kind of extract where everything is coming from. So, when we talk about planet within random and Frasley mobility companies, we have 3 points that we consider really important and very relevant in our strategy. The first one are green products. Everything we developed today has a thought embedded on it, a thought that we have to take care of the environment and not harm it. The second point, we are thinking about renewable energy. We demand energy to power, to produce and to transport our products, but we need cleaner, renewable sources of energy. And the third point is the circular economy. We have to use that in everything we think. We are in a company, our companies are integrated. So between our units, we have the circular economy. And besides that, we can also since the supplier in the supply chain up to our client and the waste of our product, we need to think in a circular way. Within our green products line, we have many initiatives, but one of them is one that we like to share today. The first one we did and we developed within Frasley Mobility, a new brake shoe for railway. And since the beginning of the project, its conception, it was taught within the mitigation of carbon reduction of carbon emissions in the environment. So for the current brake shoe, for the new brake shoe, we understand that we are going to have a 20% longer lifespan. I want it won't demand so many exchanges, and that's going to contribute for less natural resources to transport our wagons during their lifespan. This process in specific, if we consider the equivalence of 10,000 brake shoes produced per year, and Frasley is probably producing 20, 25,000 nowadays, we brought 10,000 as an example. That is the same as reducing or avoiding 44.6 kilograms of CO2, which is the same as saying that we're talking about net zero, avoiding emissions, CO2 emissions of 46 vehicles in one single product. This is just for you to be able to compare and analyze this calculation we did with the support of professional entities based in international standards. And this calculation is a certified calculation that we can use to dialogue with markets. And we are unfolding this for other markets. Where did we get these gains with this production of this brake shoe? We reduced raw materials that are less carbon intensive, getting to know every single raw material and how does it affect the environment. That's how we kind of managed to do this reduction. We redesigned the steel parts of this brake shoe so it has 15% less consumption of steel, and we also reduced in 57% the use of natural gases in the productive process, because natural gas is a CO2, it emits a lot of CO2. So when we do that, you reduce in 57%. This is a practical example of how we are working, how we are thinking. We need a lot of knowledge, because to understand the stages of carbon emission until we get to the point of effluent, it requires dedication. Public commitments will also very important to. We have a commitment of reducing in 40% the emission of gases. Uh, Regarding circular economy, the smaller generation of waste in our processes, we like to bring this example. 80% of what we generate, or craft materials, machine materials, we reuse these materials within the companies in our processes at Castertech and Fremax. Some historical example, in 2023, we lowered our target for 23. We have a technical approval of sub products from the casting manufacturer. It's a responsible destination for this waste. And after exhaustion of our processes from friction materials and companies, we are reusing it. We have re-engineering, adapting as raw material for our products. And what's lacking? We are still have to. We have been using sands, and we are increasing scale and speed of this dust in other products. And we also are developing and challenging ourselves. There is a very important research in our area to reuse refractory and waste from our companies. We can use it with in our products or in the creation of new products from this byproduct. So in 2025, we can have 0% emissions, and everything that we use don't go anymore to any landfills. That's our target. Another very important example that the media has already released is the Fremax project. Fremax is our casting company from Fras-le Mobility. 7% of the inputs used in the manufacturing, fabrication of brake discs and drums are being produced with reverse logistics of these products themselves. Will bring them back, these discs, and then we produce new parts from it. And what's behind all of that? The number, we had more 1 million parts that have returned and became new parts. We will extract less minerals or coal from nature to be able to do this process. And besides that, when you bring a product that its chemical composition is known, you have less process adjustments and other materials and minerals in the kilns. So this process is sped up and finalized. Consequently, less energy, less time are needed. That will help a lot with the carbon footprint. This is a winning project, and we want to spread out and use it. We want to increase that a lot in our casting companies. Another use for our residue, for our waste, 100% of our effluents are being treated. Our challenge here is to get this treated effluent and reuse in this process. So we don't need to consume more water, so we can recirculate that and consume a treated water in the less amount of water possible. We have many projects. We have plants with few decades of existence. We have piping and sanitation that needs to be restructured. We are creating pumping networks to bring water to our treatment stations. We are investing on this station so they can have a higher qualification of this water, so we can reuse it in the process and for sanitation. And we don't want to waste one single drop of water from 2025 onwards. Our projects are in place, fundings are happening, so in 2025 we can accomplish that. Our last pillar, renewable energy sources. We mentioned last year in this very same event our investments in solar panels. Our CTR was built in the last year and completed, and Frazli in China, they are already operational. This project was executed with an investment of 7.5 million last year. We are analyzing on how to do a similar project in Araraquara, Randon Araraquara, and this investment is going to surpass 7.5 million. I mean, 10 million. We need to approve the quantity of energy that it's going to receive. Based on that, we are going to have the sizing of our plant for this application. And regarding renewable energy sources, Frazli has challenged itself. And we are starting a new thing here, a new vertical. We are talking about biomass. We are talking about a kiln, a furnace that instead of natural gas, through biomass, we are going to reduce in Frazli gas emissions in 60%, greenhouse gas emissions. And we are going to reach our target, which is 40% reduction. Frazli contributes with random companies as a whole. It's because we have already reached 20% of our target. Our commitment lies in 20% left. It's 17 million, and we are already executing that. So next year, we are full on using that. For us, that's very, very relevant. We have a pathway to walk on, but we are going to get there and maybe even overcome what we proposed ourselves to do. We have investments in environment for a long time, but we are speeding up our investments. They are growing because of our environment, and this is the right thing to do. That's the world we want to leave to our future generations. So our commitment is here. And probably in 2023, this number is going to be higher, and we are going to continue in our journey to increase investments to reach our targets. Thank you so much. Now I invite Cesar. He's going to tell through a video about our green products. He's going to tell us about it. And thank you. Hello, people. Firstly, I would like to thank your presence. I would like to take this opportunity to present a little bit of what Randon has doing regarding innovation, sustainability, business sustainability. Probably you have heard, it was mentioned before, friction material solutions that we brought new materials that demand less energy for their production in a very important, with very important gains and relevant impacts in our supply, in our chain. We cannot not highlight, for example, something that is in the market is the EC solution, our electric axle. We are embedding this solution in our trucks, in our bodies, and that's going to save fuel. We have an economy in 25%. Can you imagine the amount of diesel that's going to be saved? We also have the solar panel technology for capturing solar energy for our cooling systems. When associated with the EC solution, we will have conjoint gains and reducing impact. 1,800 liters of diesel consumed feeding the cooling systems. I mentioned that before. And also we have other solutions within the project group. A group of actions, a series of initiatives generated by Frazli. A compass, it's exploring new technologies connected to the use of intelligent materials. A series of new components are being developed, not only for the random products, but also to offer solutions for the market. The use of intelligent materials and alternative materials is a very robust part, and it's an innovation strategy in our companies. We are expanding the knowledge in these technologies. We are exploring nanotechnology. We have been exploring a series of new materials, biomimetics, and we have been gaining significant uh, weight gain with more efficiency, less fuel by transported tons. When I talk about random solar, hybrid, uh, trucks, we put that together with composite materials, new materials, and we have a sustainable strategy within our companies. Innovation geared towards electrification and new concepts of mobility and materials. All of that will design the future of random companies. This is our bet. This is what we are expecting for the future to happen. Thank you for your attention. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Valeria. Now we are going to have like a partnership here because we have lots of interesting things to tell from our ESG or from our social side. Random Companies, as you all know, has a 74 years history. We always had a concern with people, with our interaction with society and with our stakeholders, and it hasn't changed that. We are continue advancing. It's not because we are having success that we are going to uh, be comfortable with that. We know how important we are for communities, and we want to continue striving to do that, not only in Caxias do Sul, but in other states in Brazil and outside. So we have been speeding up this process. The principles, and Valeria is going to talk a little bit more about that, the novelties, and I'm going to just talk about it in overview. This our way of being and doing things. It, that means how we work with our leadership and our teams of what can be done and what cannot be done in this journey we have been walking on. Our growth in our past years, we showed our concern with the environment and the strategies, but our main concern is that people in this pathway we have been walking on, they grow and they accomplish things, and they generate a positive impact on society. It has got a lot to do with our principles and values. We are not going to leave it behind, our principles. And part of our principles are people valued and respected. And when we are in this process of growth, and that's speeding up in the past years, we have to welcome the new people that are coming. We had many new people starting acquisitions of companies, new colleagues. So our way of being is something we want to live, make it really clear to everybody. And our way of doing things goes through three pillars. We check which are the competences we need to have our teams to be able to deliver these results, to be able to impact society. And we have 5 competences. I'm not going to talk about all of them here, but you will understand that everything starts with ourselves as individuals. Our part, our self knowledge, learning continuously to be able to help the company to continue its changing process. But we don't do anything alone, right, Val? How can we interact? How do we interact with our people, teams, community, with all our stakeholders, generating a very positive and a collaborative experience? And in the end, we are going to talk about the organizational level. Sergio mentioned in the beginning, sustainability of our organization goes through results. So how can we guide that to generate this result with our strategic vision? And the ESG ambition is one of our main visions for that. I'm going to stop here because the most important thing is to tell you what's new about it in our 74 years of story. We are advancing in the fact that we are a more diverse environment promoting equity between people. Let's talk about women now, women's careers. We are passionate about businesses and people, and that couldn't be any different. So, showing our journey and our initiatives that will support our public commitment to elevate from 11% to 15%. Our target is 22% to double our number of women in leadership positions. We have many initiatives throughout our journey. Historically, we have a leadership program, a leadership development program within the organization but we want to highlight what we have been doing to speed up the women's careers within our companies. And we are talking about the female mentorship in leadership. There were managers, leaders leading women to foster development, growth, interaction in all our business units. Their journey stimulates the development of professionals that are not in leadership positions, but they would like to develop themselves to be able to grow in the company. This is a program. We have been working with applied projects in the competence development, personal and business competences to be able to promote the development of women. And in the end, the career mentorship is for non-management people that will foster connections between people and synergies within the organization. Thank you. Valeria, this is our strategic ambition in our 5 indicators. But Randon is not. We are working in many fronts at the same time. This is what we have been speeding up in the past years. Let's talk about the other fronts. We have 3 fronts: speeding up careers, attraction and selection, scouting and selection, and in affinity groups within the organization. And these groups are here to consolidate and work initiatives within the organization for more equity, diversity, and inclusion. Our women affinity group, we have representatives here in our audience. We work strongly with initiatives to develop and promote this culture. Besides also from the developments we do, we also have maternity programs, programs to fight gender violence and to promote equity and women representativeness within the organization. We also have an affinity group represented presentially by the LGBTQIPN+ for education and sensibilization, where we want to create a sensitive environment, more plural, more equal in our organization. We had many round tables and reflections, the diversity tour, to talk about these topics. Another market is race and ethnicity to increase our representativeness in our companies. Different races, we have many. The translation of all our materials for the day-to-day, for Spanish, English, French. We also have education for immigrants, Portuguese classes for immigrants, and we have more than 450 immigrants from all over the world, Haiti, Senegal. And that's really important to help us in this journey of growth. And within the PCDs, people with disabilities, we have been working with accessibility, digital, cultural, and we are represented with people with special needs, visually and other types of needs within our organization. We have people with these needs. And it's important also to show that we are a company that makes things happen. try to do our homework. We have been making advances. It's a long journey. It's not a simple one, but Randon has been working strongly this way. We also have a lot of concern, as Anderson mentioned, with the environment, the planet, and safety. With So I'm going to invite you to watch the Luciane Sartori's video. She's the manager of health and safety and environment, and we have been focusing on prevention and mitigation of risks, our two pillars. So I would like just to remind you that today, casually, is the health and safety day, and in Brazil and in the world, work health and safety. So it's a very appropriate moment to watch this video. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. With random companies, they have the commitment to zero serious accidents, and we have two main acting fronts to work on prevention culture and risks mitigation. For prevention in 2018, we launched a program, One Attitude Changes a Life. And our 5 prevention attitudes, all the practices of the companies are connected to this program. And we foster in a very special way the active care. I take care of myself, I take care of others, and we take care of everything as a whole. We are protagonists in the prevention culture, so we can work with the minimization of our critical risks. All our operations have risks, but we need to identify what are the priority risks in these processes. In 2020, we brought a methodology to have a to classify and prioritize the necessary resources, control systems, and new technologies to minimize these processes, to gain synergy and speed in prioritizing critical risks. In 2022, we formed what we call thematic groups, 7 groups formed by industrial managers, safety engineers, managers that work focused in searching alternatives, technologies, and new resources to minimize, to mitigate these risks. We establish a minimal standard for our operations, standard of safety. We will share new technologies and alternatives to implement in our processes, and to make that, we're going to do that in a very fast way. Talking about safety and health of our people is to talk about a value for random companies. At Randon, safety is a non-negotiable commitment. Thank you. Thank you, Luciane. Luciane is here in person. So if the video had already problems, she would come up to the floor and do her presentation. We don't want to, we want to highlight here the integral health of everybody. That's one of our concerns, that it has always been. So we are also concerned with the community. So we have a project called Elizabeth Randon for over 20 years, and our program, Florescer Blooming, we are over 16,000 employees, and the Blooming program throughout this 20 years reached over 16,000, 65,000 people and children. It started with our founder, Raul Randon, and nowadays is managed by Mauri and his team. We invested 22 million in social actions. 366 children were impacted by this program, not only in Caxias, Forqueta, Interlagos. Last year, we also opened a unit in Joinville together with Fremax, one of our business units, and other franchisees from the Blooming program. Our concern with the community, and especially with education, teenagers, and kids, is really strong. It also goes through the S of our ESG, the social side of it. And we also had over 65,000 people reached by one of our programs called Life Always, Vida Sempre, who works safety and traffic. We do this program through theater, plays, and etc. So it would take hours to tell you, but we are going to show you a 2 minutes video with all our main accomplishments by the Elizabeth Random Institute. 20 years of social impact, about 15,000 children and teenagers reached since Blooming Caxias do Sul, 6.9 thousand, 98% approval in schools. Eight thousand people reached through social franchisees, 1.5 thousand people reached through AMA since 2012. 2.3 thousand people reached at Abraçaí. E- 827 people reached through G10, Rodo Paraná. 98% approval by all the schools it has served. 57 people reach 100% approval between users. 658 at Rodo Rib. 201 people reached at São João Batista. 500 people reached at Afasec. 1.7 thousand people reached at Seava, 93% approval. 200 people at ARCSO, 100% school approval. Blooming is professional initiation, started in 2004. We reached 990 children, teenagers. That's great. It's the Blooming video. Congratulations, everybody. Our we came to an end of our part, and now we are going to talk about the G from ESG. Paulo, our CFO, is going to talk about governance. Good morning, everyone. For those in person and online, thank you so much for being here with us in this very important event. As Daniel mentioned, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we are doing regarding the G, the governance. Firstly, I'm going to talk about our corporate risk management. This is a topic that started in 2018. And we were really careful at that time to obtain the best practices in the market. We hired a consultancy to develop this know-how, and that helped us a lot. So at first, we understood the context, and here we are talking about understanding, especially this internal and external vision. And when talk about risks in our global presence, we have to observe that. And apart from that, the positioning, the identification and evaluation of these risks, the creation of the risk map, that was really important with the participation of all our leadership, and we listed about 50%, 50 risks in total. And it's been really important because from that onwards, we defined our priorities and what would be how would we treat any of these risks? And that's very dynamic. 3 years ago, nobody would imagine that we would have a pandemic, so the pandemic risk wasn't listed in practically none of the companies or organizations around the world, but it happened. And when we talk about risks, these risks, they must be managed, controlled, and monitored. And that's what happens periodically with 11 risks that are followed up by the monitored by the corporate management of risks and compliance. We are talking about risks involving safety of information, uh, legislation changes, liquidity, financial liquidity, changes in legislation not only in Brazil and abroad. And also, we are always ready for risks that don't exist today but might come up tomorrow. This is why we need to be dynamic to do all these adaptations. And every single one of these risks count with their own monitoring methodology through KPIs, though risks that can be transferred, for example, through a insurance a policy, and they are part of our business dynamics that you have to anticipate, you have to know what can happen, and you must have an action plan for each one of them. It's also important that this can be replicated, extended to our business partners. We have a supply chain here, and basically our supply team has a very preventive strategy for action is the due diligence, and to be sure that all our partners in the supply chain are feeling all the political and legal requirements is really important. Their financial soundness is also very important, and their commitment with ethical and social responsible behaviors. It's important to say that we have been evolving year after year, and in our suppliers meeting, we have we have awards, and we analyze 40 projects, and for every single category, innovation, competitiveness, innovation, and ESG, we chose suppliers and we awarded them, because that creates a dynamic where that supplier that wasn't awarded, they will make efforts to maybe for the next year to get the award, and we will exchange experiences, give support to them, so we can grow together, all of us. It's also important to talk about a few initiatives. As you all know, we are a company and businesses portfolios with their dynamics that will bring the wealth and resilience for the whole. So we started to divulge our annual reports showing our verticals, so the shareholders, analysts, or maybe possible investors, they can understand our dynamics. So the vertical assembly, mobility control, auto parts, digital and financial services, and advanced technology. That has been very well received by the market, and we try to give this step to be more transparent and to keep on evolving. Following this line, this helps us a lot. It shows our commitment with the evolution of our governance. So if you notice, we have two main entities listed here, Randon itself as a whole, and Fras-le Mobility. And you can see here our evolution year after year. So we started from 61% and best practices to the instruction CVM. It shows the level of our compliance with the CVM. 80%, and Fras-le even higher than that, sorry, 78%. This sample has done with more than 400 people listed at B3, and the compliance of this over 400 people ranges at 63%. So it shows our commitment. We are always evolving in the best practices of governance. And finally, as Daniel mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, we are also going to we are going to talk about our sustainability report. It's beautiful. It's the work of all the organization. We are telling everything that we are doing. It's a independence assurance. It also has an external audit to give their opinion on it and help us to be accountable because of our ESG pillars, our sustainable prosperity, excellence, safety, and ethics and responsibility, our pillars. And you can see that something missing here on the cover. And this is the surprise we have for you. So I'll give the floor to Sergio to continue with the presentation. Good morning, everyone. It's me again. Paulo mentioned the sustainability report of our companies. And today we are also divulging our sustainability report from Fras-le Mobility. Same practices, same auditorship, it's identical. And you can realize we are using the Fras-le Mobility name. We have mentioned before that's a change we announced in the beginning of the month. Fras-le has got this trajectory of international growth, expansion, portfolio creation of technologies. Everything is a journey of caring for people and the environment. And we have made lots of acquisitions. We are a powerhouse of spare parts. And throughout this journey, it's necessary that we adopted a mother company name to be able to separate the original unit from the mother company. This is why we are Fras-le Mobility now. That was launched in the beginning of April. And as Paulo mentioned, you notice that Randon didn't show up in our sustainability report. And it has got everything to do with what we want to tell you now, what we want to share with you. So we are going to show you a little manifest video.
We are multiple and many. We are in every corner of Brazil and the world, with a passion to treat new paths. We inspire and mobilize dreams and people, innovating and creating solutions to our challenges every day. We seek to share prosperity. We respect our relationships with the planet and with people. We always have room for more. Original ideas, new products, the latest services. One that creates a sustainable future combined with a unique way of thinking and doing mobility. We are fortunate to rely on people who know that in a world as dynamic as ours, keep on moving is fundamental. And so we carry on, with a growing appetite for tomorrow and plenty of courage to live the future. Tireless, enthusiastic, always evolving, so as to connect people and riches, thus generating prosperity. Randon companies are now called Randoncorp.
People, I'm very happy and very pleased to officially announce our new name, Randoncorp. Again, congratulations, everyone. there are many reasons why we did this movement, this change, but the most relevant one has got to do with all the work that all our team and our 16,000 employees have been doing. Random companies, they are different from the ones we had in the past. We have evolved in terms of technology. We created advanced technology, disruptive technologies, not only to compare with other countries such as in North America or Europe, but advanced technologies that are advanced even for them in our that we are creating in our company. We evolve the environment, social inclusion, diversity, equity, our way of working and our way of managing businesses. We have expanded internationally and we created new product lines, and we have a young, happy environment. And this is what we would like to capture with our Random Corp, respecting all our legacy. But we also wanted to show what we are today. This is why, again, we are Random Corp from today onwards. And to end, I would like to call to the floor Danielle. And we have we have another video first.
Our corporate name and brand are changing. This is an evolution that supports our vision for the future. Strong and courageous for our talent, our customers, and other stakeholders. Randon Companies is now Randoncorp. Our brand has been designed to meet the changes in the markets we compete in. At the end of the day, we are not the same as we were a few years ago, and we can expect there to be more positive transformations going forward. Our new brand shows respect for our shared legacy over the last 7 decades and maintains and builds upon our principles and purpose. The letter R stands out. It shows where we have come from. Its design shows that we welcome change, new business and new ideas on methods and mobilities. Our primary color is blue, which represents innovation, trust, and soundness. On occasion, it may be used with other colors because our new brand has a personality that is approachable, visionary, reliable, multiple, and sustainable. The name Randoncorp is a combination that reminds us of our history, our origins, and our inspiration added to what makes up a corporation. It is modern, bold positioning. It is not just how we see ourselves today, but also how we want things to be from now on. It is not just a change of our trademark, it is a mark of our change. And we will carry on, shortening distances, connecting talent, continuously innovating, and sharing a little more of our legacy every time. Randoncorp, building tomorrow.
Well, people, for us, it's a very important moment. We would like to share that with all of you and thank the presence of our board of directors, Random Corp and Frasley Mobility that are watching online. And also, this is our new brand. It's has been built based on the principles and values of the company, our purpose, as Sergio mentioned before, the dynamics and the innovation of the company has been putting forward is translated by Random Corp. Not only translating not only what we are today, but where we want to be with our global positioning. So once again, I would like to congratulate everyone, all the teams that are part of it and contributed for us to be here with this new brand with a clear purpose of telling the world what we are today and what we want to be tomorrow. A little detail, our colleagues from the video, all the artists are our colleagues at Randon. So maybe they will become famous actors, we don't know. So it's an honor to be able to reflect the feelings of people who work with us And what you see in the video, their testimonies is real. So we are very proud of it. Thank you. Thank you, Sergio Carvalho, the CEO of Randoncorp, the presence of all of you in the Commerce and Services Chamber. And it's a very historical moment to continue with this legacy as Randoncorp, with this brand that for sure will transmit to the world our real values and representation. And we will continue growing with the sustainable growth in mind. Thank you, everyone. And I wish you all of you great success. Thank you.